Here I have a couple of seat cushions for my dining room. I bought these years ago at, I think I bought them at Pier 1. Yeah. So I need to recover them. So what I'm going to do is, I'm supposed to be making a handbag today, but you know what? I was inspired by a video of someone who redid their dining table, and so I've had the fabric to redo this and to redo these. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to, I've got some really nice linen and I've got a leopard skin to recover these. So the next step is going to be to take this fabric off to recreate a pattern, and these I'm just going to measure, and then I'll cut the straps for these. And then once I have this cut out, I will I'll show you what that looks like. To recreate the pattern, I'm going to reuse the foam inserts here. And these did not have, you see how this is closed? They just sewed that shut. I will probably do the same thing because these actually were never laundered. Look at this. Oh, cat hair, everything. Oh, I mean, I vacuumed them, but I haven't vacuumed them recently. But see, if you have pets, they get destroyed. But I've literally had these, I don't know, a long time. It's not, I mean, I looked for replacements. I just couldn't find them. So that's why I'm going to redo them myself. So I'll be back and you'll see them after they're all cut out will be the next step. And I'll see you soon. Okay, I'd like to note a couple things. This is what was used as the right side of the cushion. It's actually the wrong side of the fabric. This is the right side of the fabric. Isn't that crazy? Look, that's what they used, and that's why we were getting pulled threads like this. Had they used the right side of the fabric, it's actually like a velvet finish. And I kind of, I mean, this works really well in my house, but whatever. And that's why the threads were pulling the way they were. The second thing I'd like to point out, and this is when it's manufactured in foreign, I hate to be like this, but when it's production manufactured, look, it's hard to do this with one hand, but the pattern is, it's not even. Hang on, bear with me. Look at this, it's folded in half, up at the top, lined up. Look, it's not even, see how this goes straight down, it's even here. This is not even squared up. So I'll be fixing that in my pattern. What I'll do is I'll get this all squared up and even and use this piece as my pattern. Now on the second cushion, I don't need to rip out the seam. I'm just going to literally cut it off the cushion. So all you really need is one good piece. I may reuse this cord from this on both, so you can repurpose the cording from it. Although this isn't really great cord, but it is usable. But I just can't get over how they even used the wrong side, and then maybe they wanted those colors. But I thought it was really weird when I looked at the fabric. I'm like, But now I see, yeah, definitely the feel of this is soft. This is definitely the right side. This is definitely the wrong side. Maybe they wanted the feel of the cotton, the backing. I don't know. Really messed up. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Very interesting. Okay, so here we have the cushions cut out. Here, this fabric is kind of like, it feels kind of like a suede, but it's a velvet, a real low pile velvet. And then I have cut out the ties, which are going to be half the linen and the other side is going to be the velvet, just for a little bit of stability, because this linen's really thin. And then I have cut out the piping, so I've cut the linen out on the bias for the piping, and then I cut new cording. I had a whole roll of this, so it's the same size. I cut it out a little bit longer than the original piping cord, just to be safe. So I've got everything all prepped. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the piping to have it all done, and then I'll be pinning it to the cushions, and then I will also then sew these the ties, and then I'll pin those in place. I will then baste the piping to the cushion and then the ties. Ooh, that's hard to say. And then I will have it all put together. I'll put the two cushion pieces together, and then I will be sewing it to the cushions, which are over here. So I will let you know what that looks like, and I'll be checking in with you once it's sewn. Okay, now I have the cushion all ready to put together. I'm going to show you what I have here at the top, or the back of the cushion. Here is the piping, and what I've done is, where it's joined is I take apart the piping and I fold it back, and then I cut the actual cords so that they meet each other, and then I fold it, and you see how they meet right here. And that way they're joined neatly. And then I've just stitched it at about 1/8 of an inch all the way around to the actual cushion. And then I've got my ties stitched on the other side. So there's 2 on each side. So those are all stitched down. And now I've got the cushion all clipped together. I'm going to have an opening here, right here, and believe it or not, I'm going to fold that cushion in half, and this is going to be the opening. So I'm going to be stitching this. I'm going to put on I have never used this yet on this machine. I'm working on my Juki here, my 2010 Juki, and this is a welting foot, a piping foot. And so the piping goes in here, and it's going to sit right on top of the piping and stitch right down next to the piping. So see, there's the hole, and it's going to stitch down right next to the piping, so you get a real clean edge. I have not done this. We're going to see how this goes. I'm going to stitch around. The seam allowance is about 1/2 inch. I had cut the piping 1.25 inches. And you can refer to my piping video for bags. It's the same principle, but like I said, I cut this piping out on the bias, so you see it bends very easily around these curves. If you don't cut it on the bias, you're gonna have a challenge. So this is a linen fabric, it's a woven. If you're working with vinyl, you don't have that problem because there is no grain to it, really, per se. So I'm going to be back. Hopefully this goes as smoothly as I want it to. So I'll be back. All right, 1 down, 1 to go. I have to say, that piping foot was perfect. Look at this. I mean, it really worked out. So my little ties, I did one that matched the cushion, and then this is the linen, and then I stitched the back of this shut. It worked out really well. I got the fabric from Ballard Designs, and it barely, I mean, I had just like a yard just covered it, but and you're gonna love this. I'm top stitching this little back, I'm not top stitching, I'm closing up this back section. I run out of bobbin like right midstream, but you know, no one sees this in the back of the chair. But yeah, look at that. the piping, I mean, this piping foot for the Juki 2010 worked out beautifully for this little project. So I'm gonna finish up the other one, and yeah, pretty cool. So I'm gonna try to get a shot of what it looks like on the chairs. These are little wicker chairs for at the end of the dining set, but super pleased.